Hey, Crystal, we are going through an example of what a mastery path is right now. So if you want to self-enroll in this course, it's just so you can see it from a student point of view. I put it in the chat. And then once you get on that course, you're just going to start taking the 80s music trivia quiz. And I'm going to explain exactly what happens, and we'll go through the steps of setting up a mastery path once we're done. Hey, go for it.
Hey, Ashley, I was trying to access that, but it took me into the Mastery Path, but then it wanted me to go to courses, so I can't find it. I'm not sure where I am.
Ooh, okay. Hold on 1 second. So it let you in the course, and were you able to see the quiz from there?
No,
Okay.
and now I can't find oh, I found it.
Is it working now? Okay.
Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did it go? Okay. I'm so sorry.
No,
Okay.
you're fine. Hey, we've been on summer break. Like we're just coming back.
This is real, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for making me feel like I have company.
No, right.
Okay.
And hey, I think Sarah just joined us. We are going into this course that I just put in the chat. I'll do it one more time. If you want to enroll just as a student real quick, so you can see what a mastery path looks like from that point of view. Once we're done with this, then we will go into how to set this up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, I haven't taught on this Google Meet yet or anything, or done any instruction with the Google Meet since it changed in May. So I will probably mess up multiple times today just with the new buttons and the layout. Awesome. I can see 2 people have already finished, so that's great. And then I'll show you on the teacher end how I'm able to see that and what is going on within this mastery path and how we're able to break down what level each student is at. We're just going to do about 2 more minutes of this just so we have plenty of time to go through the steps of setting it up. But like I said, this was just so you can have an idea of what it looks like from a student side.
Uh-huh. Es que te lo acabo de mandar porque... Yo creo que verificas...
All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on. So if you didn't finish, it's okay. Like I said, this was just an example, and I'll keep this up for a little bit if you want to keep the course open for a little bit if you want to continue taking the quiz, whatever. So if you go back to the presentation screen now on the Google Meet, I'm going to show you from a teacher side what I can see now and how the Mastery Path all works and breaks down. So when I set up this Mastery Path, I had it move into 3 different groups based on the scores from this quiz, and we call this a source assignment, and I'll explain that in just a minute what that means. But this assignment, obviously it grades itself because it's a quiz on Canvas. And so what happens is when I open up this quiz now and I like go to where it looks like I'm going to edit it, on the right hand side I can see a breakdown of exactly who scored what and what area they're in. And so on here I can even click on this list and it will tell me exactly who scored that amount of area. So right there, it automatically will set up like small groups, you know, your students that need extension activities and then your students that need remediation activities, and you have it all ready to go. And that's why MasteryPaths is so awesome. So we're going to go through the steps of setting this up. It is completely your choice if you want to go through like your sandbox course and set one up with me while we're working on this today. Or like I said, you're going to get this presentation and it has literally each step like broken down for you. So you can always go back and do it later if you don't feel like you're ready to move away from the presentation screen. But I'm going to go through and build it with you. And so on here, you know, you can go through each section and see where the students are. And right away, you know what level students are at, what they're going to be working on, and how they're doing with the set of standards or whatever unit topic you're on. All right, so first things first, I'm going to give you this presentation link so that you have it, and I will put it in the chat also so you do not have to type that out. And it will be on every single slide within this presentation. So if you don't get it right now, you'll be able to see that link later on and be able to do that. But this is the link to the presentation, so you can always have access to it and see the step-by-step directions of how to set up these mastery paths. If you weren't on earlier, I did say, put this out there, that mastery paths are for the more advanced or confident Canvas user. So you do need to be familiar with modules before you start using mastery paths, just because they're all completely set up within a module. So make sure you do know how to set those up and use modules before you try to do mastery paths. All right, so we're going to kind of break this down into 3 different sections. So what are mastery paths and why do we want to use them? We'll go over how to set them up, and then the different options you have within MasteryPaths, because not only can you use this for leveled instruction, you can also use this for choice boards within Canvas. So instead of having to make things like in Google Slides or Google Docs and having all these, you know, beautiful but time-consuming choice boards, we can also set this up within a mastery path and give them the choice to work on what they want to work on. So first thing we're going to start out is, what is a mastery path and why do we want to use this? So personalized learning. We know this is a huge topic in education right now. This is what we all want to be doing for our students, making sure it is personalized for what they like or what level they're at. So we really want to make sure that we're including this, and Mastery Paths is a great way to do that. We can support all the different learning styles. So if we have students that like to learn better from videos, then they have that option to learn from video. Or if they like to have actual hands-on practice, whatever it may be, we can set it up within Canvas. And then we're definitely going to target those activities to the different users based on what level they're at. So like I said, you can set up for extension activities or just like on level, or you can have that remediation group. And within Mastery Paths, you can only set up 3 levels. But within those 3 levels, you have a lot of room to work on what you want to do. Okay, so I did put like vocabulary in here because with Mastery Paths, we know with Canvas in general, they kind of have their own lingo on what different things are. So we're not going to go over every single one of these right now. I think there's like 5 in total vocabulary words, but I will say these sometimes. So I just want you to know exactly what this means. So basically your source assignment is going to be the first assignment in the module. It's what everything is going to break down from. So you just took your source assignment, which was that 80s music trivia quiz. And so based on your score, you're going to unlock a mastery path and you're going to unlock what assignments you have. That is our source assignment. So then your configuration page is where we're going to set up how each path is going to go. And then the 3 last ones. So then you have your conditional rules. These are just going to be the rules of the 3 scoring sections within your configuration page. You'll have your conditional items. So what is the different items you're adding into each level? All those are just like your conditional items. and then your conditional release, what it takes for them to unlock the next item or whatever it may be. So I put these in here just so you know, because I will tell you, I went to like the Canvas training on this, and they started using these words, and I was like, wait, what is that? So I really wanted to make sure to break down that vocabulary so you knew what it was when people are talking about it. So I do have an overall video in here of exactly how you would do this if you were to set it up in one sitting. So this video you'll always have access to it with the presentation link. So you can go watch that whenever you need to. All right, so we are going to start breaking down the steps of setting all of this up. And like I said, it's in the presentation step by step. But if you want to set one up right now in like a sandbox course or a fake course that you have, you can go ahead and do that with me just so you can see the steps. There are about 10 steps to set this up. So like I said, it is something that takes some time, but once you have it, you can move it to different courses, and it's very, very simple to be able to use over and over again. And just to let you know, one of our teachers here at North actually used this for summer intercession, and he did it for all of our like retesters for biology, and he loved it. He said it went so well, and he set it up based on TEAC. So like then he knew exactly what TEAC students needed help on or which ones they excelled at, and he really wanted to use it so he didn't waste anyone's time, because he knew they took a full year of biology already, or they took a full year of biology already, but he really wanted to know where they were at and what they needed help on for the test. So we know that this helped for that. So just think about what it could do during the school year. So first thing first, we need to go into our course and we need to enable our settings for MasteryPaths, because it's not automatically turned on within GISD. So to do this, you're going to go to your settings within your course, and you will have to do this by course. So if you teach like an on-level course, but you also have an honors course, you'll have to do it in both. It's for each course. So then once you're on here, you're going to go to feature previews. They've kind of changed this up over the summer. I'm not going to lie, some of the wording is a little different on here. So feature previews, and then you're going to find MasteryPaths, and you're just going to click on the X to enable it. So you want to make sure there's a green check mark next to MasteryPaths, and this means that you can turn it on. So again, you go to settings, and then you'll click on feature preview, and then find MasteryPath, and just make sure you enable it. So you just click on the X to turn it on. So that is your first step. And like I said, you have to do that by course. So if you have multiple courses, you will have to do that for each of them. So now once we have turned on our MasteryPath, we are going to start setting up our module where our MasteryPath is going to go. So for our module, it is going to be a module completely on its own. So you do have to start a new one. And if you do your modules by week or by unit, this will have to be separate from it, just so all the things don't get caught up and you don't see multiple like assignments that can be kind of confusing for students. Once you start using this a lot more, you will be able to have assignments that are not within the MasteryPath in that module. You just really need to start out with one and see how it works and how how students are going to see it. Then you can start adding other things to it. So we're going to click on our plus module, and I am just going to name this demo, and then I'm going to add it. I'm going to go ahead and move this to the top. So we see it easier. So here is my demo module that we are going to be using. So that is the next step. That's simple enough, right? All right, so next we are going to create or add our source assignment. So this is going to be assigned to everybody. Everybody is going to do this. And the pro tip that the Canvas trainers kept telling us is that using an automatic graded quiz is kind of the best way to go here, because then it automatically opens the other assignments or the pathway for the students. If you do set this up as an assignment where you have to manually grade it, then obviously you have to grade it before the students will unlock their next steps. So using the either classic quizzes or new quizzes feature is going to be the best way to go here, just because it automatically grades it. And try to stay away from those, oh my goodness, I can't even think of what it is, but where they do their own response, where you have to manually grade anything within those quizzes. Try to stay away from those for this source assignment, like I said, just so the grade automatically pulls up and students are directed to their next assignments. So on here, you are just going to click the plus button for your module. So we're going to add things here. and I am going to go to my quizzes, and I have this 80s music trivia quiz already created. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and add my item. And so when you add this item at first, you're not going to see this word mastery path. Now, since I've already used this assignment in this module, you can see the mastery path is there. But to turn on your mastery path, all you have to do is click on the 3 dots next to that assignment. So not on the module, but next to the assignment, and then you'll select mastery path. That should be an option on your drop down. So one more time, on your module, you added your source assignment. Okay, so this is what everyone is going to do. Then you're going to click on your 3 dots next to that assignment and select Mastery Paths. And that turns on that this is going to become a Mastery Path module. So once I click on Mastery Paths, it's actually going to take me to that configuration page. And this is where you're able to set up what assignments are going to open for each level of your Mastery Path. So on here, you get your 3 sections. And like I said, for now, it's only these 3 sections. You can't add more or have less, but you don't have to have items in each area. So for instance, if I only wanted 2 levels that students would go on, I'm just going to go ahead and remove this bottom one. And I can actually do this, like start my 0 here, and then it will, like, it automatically changes points for me too. So it does the math for you, which is great because I'm not a math person. But even if I was still teaching like 8th grade, a lot of times we would set up our levels based on like the testing levels. You know, if we had our mastery level, the ones that were on level, we had our bubble kids, and then the ones that were below standard. So, you know, you can set that up to match whatever scores you want to go along with your quiz or your source assignment that you have. So on here, I'm going to make sure to put this back. Let's do this one, 52. All right, so you'll set up your points. And then once you've set up your points, you are going to then start adding the assignments you want in each section. So to do this, you just click on the little plus box next to each level, and then you're just going to select which assignments are going to go in here. So I am on my like lowest level right now, so this would be like my remediation level, and I am going to pick the assignments that I know I want my students to do here. Now I'm forgetting the names of them, so hold on. So it's the sadness one, study guide, I think, and then post-test. So I can select all those items at once and then just click add. And then from here, you can always rearrange whatever you need. If you want them to go in a different order, you can always rearrange them, pull them, maybe. Yes, there we go. So you can always move them where you need them to go and have them. Why is it? Hold on. There we go. That's not what I want. So maybe you do have to put them in order. I'm sorry. So just make sure you select them in a specific order. And if they're not in that order, you can just click on the 3 dots, remove it, and then add them again. So let me try that one more time. Let me try to get my first one on here. Let's see. I could have swore you can move these around. I'm sorry, guys. So just make sure you put them in the right order. When you select them from that list, you know, it's always funky things with Canvas, always. Okay, so once you have all of your items on here, let me go through. Here's where we're at, so you can add your items to your level. Okay, so once you oh my goodness, have your items in here. Here's the really cool thing about this is see how there is that and sign between, and it's really small, I'm sorry, and I'm on my desktop computer, so I can't even zoom very well on here. But on here, there's an and sign between each of these items that I added. I can actually click on that and it will change to or. So then in your mastery path, what's happening is that students have a choice to either do this 80s music love assignment or this 80s music reward assignment, but they have to then do the 80s music graphic. So that's where you're getting this choice board option here. So I can actually do an or between all of these, and they get to pick which assignment they want to do. So it would only make them do one, and it goes into the gradebook that way. So it'll gray out all the other ones in your gradebook, so it knows that that student's not doing those, and it will only show the one that they selected. Now I will say, One thing about this is that if you make this a choice only, so for instance, if they have a choice between these three, they only get the choice once. And once they pick, that's the one they have to do, because the Mastery Path has set it up that way. And it doesn't let them go back and like make changes. But if you finished the quiz earlier, you may have seen that it took you to your results page. And then once you clicked next, then it showed you your assignments within your module. What it will do if you set them as all the or option, so giving them that choice option, once they finish that source assignment and they click next, it will actually put the put all the directions of what each assignment is. So like that rich content editor that you put all the information about each assignment in, it will show all three of them, and students can then read them and click on the one that they want to do. And then that's how the choice board sets up. So it's a really cool feature. Like I said, you don't have to go in and then make all these like creative Google Slides and Google Docs and extra items. You can actually just build it all within here. So I'm going to change these back to and, because I want them to do all three of these assignments in each level. And then once I have these all set up, then I just click save. Now, an awesome thing about Canvas would be if it then sees all these assignments in here, it automatically puts them in the module, right? It's not that advanced yet. So this is the one step that I wish they would fix, but they haven't done that yet. So on here, once I click save, it is then saved for me. And if I go back to modules, I still only see that one source assignment. So what I have to do now is I have to click the plus button, and I'm going to select all the assignments I just put on that configuration page and add them to the module. So like I said, this is my least favorite step of them all, but it does have to be done so that then all the assignments are within that module. So on here, the nice thing is that you can come through and I can actually hold shift down and I can select all the ones that I want at one time. So I can add these, and then I'm going to click the plus again, and I'm going to go to discussion, and again, hold the shift button down and select all of them. And then I just need that other quiz that I had for my post assignment, and then add that item. So now they're all in here, and once your assignments are in here, you'll see over on your right-hand side, it'll show you exactly which level it belongs to. And if it belongs to more than one, it says multiple. So I know that this post test is going to be in my middle level and my bottom level. So that's why it says multiple, because it's in there twice. So on here, this can look a little crazy. And and this is not very organized, but you know, you have these 8 dots over here. So if you need to organize them, you can always pull the assignments to match where you want them to go, and have them kind of all, okay, so these are all my extension activity assignments, and they're all together. And I'll even show you another way that you can organize that a little bit better. So on the teacher side, you know exactly where each level is. All right, so I've got through that one. One thing I did want to show you on here, none of these are actual pages, but let me just add a page on here real quick. I'm just going to create a big one so I can show you, because we know we can use pages within Canvas as like a content page, and you could have information on it, and maybe you want them to review content in their Mastery Path. And so on this page, you do have to do one extra step with pages to make sure it can be used in the Mastery Path. So if this was my fake page and here's my demo, you know, whatever content I'm putting on here, at the bottom you had these options before where, you know, who can edit this page, and you can add it to a student's to-do list. But now once you enable that Mastery Path option, you'll have one more option down here that says allow in Mastery Paths. And so you will want to check this if it's a page you know you're going to be using within a Mastery Path. If you don't check this, what's going to happen is that page that you add into that Mastery Path is then going to be accessible by all levels, no matter what they scored. So you do need to make sure it is set within the Mastery Path so that they're able to be used and seen by only the students that need it. So it's just one extra step you have to do on there for pages. And then let me go back to my module. We're almost done, guys. We're almost there. Got through this pretty quick. Remove this one. All right, so we have our steps. Let me make sure I didn't skip any. Okay, we added all of our conditional items. So everything within our configuration page we added on there. All right, so now this is another one of those steps that I'm like, oh, can't you just do it yourself, Canvas? But of course it cannot. So now that we've added all these assignments in here, we have to make sure that they're assigned to the mastery path and not to everyone. So this very first assignment, your source assignment, everyone's doing this, right? So when I click on this assignment, when I go to edit and I make sure, my section or whoever it is assigned to. So I scroll down to this very bottom box down here and I see assign and it's to everyone, and that's perfect. Our source assignment, yes, I will put that in the chat in just a second. Our source assignment has to be assigned to everyone. So make sure that everyone is selected in that box. Now, the other items, we don't want them to be assigned to everybody, because then once again, just like your page, everyone would be able to access them, and we don't want that. We only want them to see what level that they're going to get. So what we're going to do is go back to our module, and I'm going to click on each one of these assignments. I'm going to edit. And then now down here in my assign to box, ignore this bottom one right there, because those are the people that already took this quiz. But right here, you're actually going to close out of everyone. So you're going to X out of everyone, and you're going to select Mastery Path. So if I'm on here, I want this to go to Mastery Path, and that's the only group that gets it. So normally when you do assignments in Canvas, we normally assign it to everyone, or we assign it to a specific section. We're going to X all that out, and we want it to be assigned to Mastery Path. And it will be an option on here. So it will always be that option on here. You can select it, and that's what you want. So then what happens on the back end is once you have that Mastery Path selected and you have it saved, now you can see, since y'all know, y'all have already taken that quiz, it automatically will start assigning to those specific students based on their score. So these two students in my class, they both scored in that extension level. So they too have been assigned this extension activity. And so behind the scenes, this is what Canvas is doing. I didn't set that up before. Now I can click save, and I'm going to continue, and I have to do this for each assignment I have within that module. So I'm going to go back to modules, and again, I'm going to click on the next one. I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to scroll down, and remember, we're going to close out of everyone in this first box. So that one box that will be there, close out of everyone, and you'll just select Mastery Path. So then Mastery Path is the only one you have here. And once again, behind the scenes, Canvas has gone in and assigned it to those people who scored in that range. So now, once you're on here, remember you have to do that for each assignment that is under the source assignment. So source assignment goes to everyone. First assignment on here goes to everyone. But then all the other assignments have to be assigned to Mastery Path. Because if you don't do that, then everyone will be able to see everything. You don't want that. You only want them to see the level they're supposed to be on. Okay. So that, like I said, there are a couple tedious tasks within setting up a Mastery Path, and hopefully Canvas can work on these in the future and get these to flow a little bit better. But Mastery Path is still pretty new. So we will see. We will see. All right. So then once you have finished that step of making sure that it's assigned to everyone, or assigned to just the Mastery Path, not everyone, all you have to do now is make sure everything within your module is published, and you are good to go. That's it. You got through all 10 steps. Yes, go ahead.
Ashley, when you set up that source assignment, that's where you designate who all's going to be in the Mastery Path.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's what you're saying.
Yes.
So when I go to the next assignments, the only people that are going to get it are the one that got that source assignment.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right. And so to set it up from the very beginning, though, all those other assignments under your first one, under your source assignment, you're going to assign it to Mastery Path, and it will be an option on your list. And then Canvas behind the scenes will then go change it to everyone it needs to be assigned to. So then that'll work out. And so on here, I was going to show you when you're in your module and you want to see, like, your students are starting to take the source assignment, then you are able to click on that click on that source assignment, and that's where you'll find the data breakdown right here. So to find your data breakdown, it will be within your source assignment. Yeah, you should be able to, as long as you're not using, the only thing that wouldn't move over from a, like if you move this from course to course, is if you use like a Google LTI assignment, each teacher would have to go in and set that up themselves. But if you're using very simple, basic assignments within Canvas, you can set this up as a PLC and then everyone can grab it for sure. For sure. The only thing I had to do, and like I said, I set this MasteryPath up in my sandbox and actually in our staff course so that they had access to it. And I just moved it over to this demo course, this fake course I made literally yesterday. And the only thing I had to change on my assignments was making sure it was assigned to the MasteryPath. So that was the only thing I had to go in and do once I moved it over. And so, okay, so little tips and tricks. That's the last thing I have on here. And then if we have time, I'll show you, just making sure you really understand that, who it's being assigned to. So some trainer tips. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to just claim it's still early. So I just said this, but the MasteryPath breakdown will always be seen in that source assignment. So that first assignment is where you'll see the scores of each student once they finish, and you can click on the number of students in that area to be able to see who got what and have that breakdown right there. And so you're able to see which students are where. So another thing is you can indent the assignments. So create indentions within a path to help guide students. So if I came in here and I knew that these 3 assignments right here are my extension activities, I can come in and I can indent each one. So then that first assignment will be indented 1, and then on this next one, I'll do it twice. So then it kind of has a flow for them and they can see, oh, here are my steps that I'm going through. So if it is a step-by-step activity, for instance, in this one, I had them set up I wanted them to answer a discussion question first. Then they went into a review, and then they did their extension activity where they were actually creating a graphic. So I really wanted to make sure that they were going step by step and taking these assignments one at a time and not just picking which one they want to do. Okay, so you can use text headers to organize your module, but you don't need to publish these. So let me show you what this looks like. So within your module, I can click on the plus button, and hopefully y'all know this, but text headers are like my favorite thing about modules. So I can select a text header and I can put extension, and I'm going to add the item. So now I'm going to pull this up to where my extension activities are, but I'm not going to publish this. And the reason I'm saying that is so on the teacher side, I can see the organization, but students don't need to see this. They don't need to know what level they're on. They don't need to know what they're doing. So I keep this unpublished, but on my end as a teacher, it's helping me stay organized. So let me show you what I did with this module down here. So on here, I have my source assignment labeled, but it's not published. This is just for me so I can see, okay, here's my source assignment. Here's my enrichment activities. Here's my on-level activities. Here's my remediation activities, and then here's my post assignment. So just, if you are one of those people, I'm very visual and I love organization. And so this is how I would break down my course anyways, or, if I had paper assignments in front of me, I'd have them in piles like that. So that's how I like to break it down on Canvas. So you can add these text headers, but just don't publish them because students don't need to see them. It's just for us, because on their end, they're only going to get one section of this. They're not going to know about the other ones. So that's always an option. Oh, okay, so a little shortcut. Once you have your MasteryPath turned on and you're editing through your module, you're setting up your configuration page and you are going through and just making edits. That's what we do as teachers, right? We always go back. You can actually, instead of clicking on this source assignment and then going to the configuration page and doing all these things, if you click on this little MasteryPaths blue link right next to your source assignment, it will automatically always open up that configuration page. So that's a little shortcut so that you don't have to keep going through your source assignment and then click on MasteryPath up here and then come here. It just takes you there directly. So if you click on that little blue link, Mastery Path, takes you right to where you configure what assignments are in each section. All right, so if you're looking at your Mastery Path based on scores, so we've kind of already talked about this, but just so you know, this is in here. So your students will get assignment, or you'll give them that source assignment, and then based on that score, that's what opens and unlocks their set of directions next. You can set your own points. We saw that. You can set whatever point configuration you want, but there is only 3 sections that you can create. You can set requirements through the module so that they can only move through the items in that specific order. So if you've used modules before, you may have used the requirements saying like, hey, you have to finish this assignment before you go on to the next assignment. You can still do that within a Mastery Path, and it will only require those assignments that they get from their Mastery Path still. So what I can do is in here, I do need to make sure they're in the correct order. So technically this one will be first. Yeah, okay, I think that's it. So what I'm going to do is on the module name, so the gray bar at the very top, I will click on the 3 dots and then click on edit. And then I'm going to click add requirements. And so I can put that students must complete all these requirements, or they must move through in sequential order, or they only have to complete one of them. You can kind of choose here. But if I put 3 assignments on there and I want my students to do all 3 of them and they have to go through in sequential order, I can turn this on right here. So this will still work within Mastery Paths if you've been doing this before. And then you'll, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, that was a question I got from a lot of teachers when I showed them Mastery Passes. Can I still put requirements on here? And yes, you can. You can still have requirements with your Mastery Pass. And if you don't know a lot about requirements and using these in modules, I do have I have something in the Commons that you can grab that tells you more about it. So if you search my name in the Commons, it'll be there. But in the next session, I'm doing badges, digital badging within Canvas. I'll give you that information too. So on here, you can still set requirements. Sorry, I don't know what I'm even talking about right now. All right, last thing, I promise. Okay, so if they do go to, if you turn this into a choice board, so you, instead of doing and, you change it to or, and students are able to pick which assignment they want to do, just remember they only get one choice. Once they choose, that's the assignment they're doing. They don't get to go back and choose again. So especially if you have, I mean, I would say younger students, maybe watch out for this more, but I don't know, I work in a high school now and I still see this being a problem. So just make sure that they do know that before they click and select which assignment they want to work on, that they do only get one choice. So make sure they make the choice they want. Once they make that choice, they only see that one assignment within their module. So they won't be able to see the other ones anymore. And then, like I said, on the teacher side in your grade book, if you gave them like 3 choices, the other 2 will be grayed out next to their name, and only that one assignment they chose will be seen for a grade. So it's not super confusing for you. So if you just want to set up a choice board and not have like a source assignment, you can also do this. What I suggest you do is you use classic quizzes and you set up a graded survey. And in that graded survey, just ask like, how are you feeling today? You know, one simple question. And as long as they answer that question, then it will open up the choice board for them. So that's another way to do it. You don't have to necessarily set up a source assignment that will give them levels. You can just do a graded survey within classic quizzes, and it will, if they answer it, then it opens the choice for them. So that's one way you can do it. And you still can have choice items even if you do a grade-based path. So even if you have levels, you can still put those choice options in there. You can have the same choice in each level, or you can even have multiple choice boards within each level. So kind of based on whatever you need, whatever you've got, MasteryPaths can do it for you. So once again, I know we're running out of time here. I do want you to get the link for your attendance and feedback before this 45 minutes is over. Let me put this link in here for you too. And then I'll put the link again for the for the presentation so you have it. And then I'll start answering questions. I know we're running out of time. I'm sorry. I talk too much. Okay, so let me see what question. MasteryPaths. Redo the initial source assignment. Okay, good question, Crystal. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if when they redo it, if it changes their path. I have not experienced that yet. We just started working with this in April. So I really only got 2, maybe 3 teachers on campus to actually try it because at the end of the year, they weren't ready for it. So like I said, the most success we had with it was during summer intersession, and I've only been emailing that teacher since then. We haven't gotten to have an in-person conversation yet. So I'll ask and I'll see what I find out. But I think it's really only based on that first try, that first one that they have. But what I did, like in this one that I set up on here, I have like the same questions as the post test. And so they're doing it for the on level and the like remediation level. I have them taking it again. It's just 10 questions this time rather than 15. Let me see if I missed some other. Okay, curious about associate support. Okay, so I'll explain that one more time. I know this was asked earlier, so you may have already gotten it, but just so we can go over it. So for instance, if I put the or between this 80s music reward and 80s music graphic, those are the 2 they'll get the choice between. But on here, they have to do this first one, and they'll do one of these 2. So hopefully that makes sense. So this first one they're doing, and they have a choice between one of these 2. So you have a lot of room to work with when it comes to how you want to set these up. And like I said, in this presentation, it goes over all those steps one by one. So you can see it. I put a GIF in each of them. I have text directions. And then there is that overall video. I think it's like a 10-minute video of me going over it. But as always, if you have questions throughout the school year, you're setting these up and you want to use them, please email me. I love this kind of stuff and I love Canvas. So I'm here if no one on your campus knows how to do it. So we can always jump on a meet or, talk and walk through those steps of setting it up. But if you don't have any questions, then you can go ahead and log off. Make sure you did get your attendance done. I'll put that in here one more time. And then I'll also put the link to the presentation one more time, so everyone has that. Yeah, Sandra, go ahead.
On the source assignment, is it recommended to always start off with like a quiz or some kind of pretest?
Okay, so when I was in the trainer thing through Canvas, the guy did say he suggests using a quiz within Canvas each time, just because it grades by itself and automatically the pathway opens for the students. You can set up an assignment, just like a normal assignment, where you grade it to be that source assignment. You have that option, but the students will have to wait until you put the grade in for their pathway to open. So it is suggested that you go ahead and use that quiz, like I said, just so it's graded on its own and automatically will open up for the students, but you're able to put whatever you want there. You can do a discussion question, you can do an assignment, anything that has a grade attached to it, you're able to do. So even those graded surveys and classic quizzes, you can use those too.
Thank you.
Yeah. But thank you guys. I know that was so quick to do in 45 minutes. If y'all need anything, just email me. Like I said, I love Canvas, so.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Ashley, this
Yes.
is a bit off the topic, but
No, you're
since you love Canvas so much, I really love Canvas too. I was wondering, have you heard anything about whether we're going to be able to get outcomes?
Okay, so so I don't, but I have asked digital learning about this for a while now.
Me
But
too.
I think here's the problem. It's that it is not, so I know, like, as a single teacher, I could add my own outcomes, but it would take a very long time to do that.
Sure.
And I think, like, I know there's a way to mass upload them, but the spreadsheet is very confusing. I didn't understand how to do it. But
Yeah.
if we could get curriculum, to do it, it'll be great. I just know it is kind of a daunting task. But I'll keep asking and I'll keep probing and seeing what I can find out. Because I think it would be amazing to have that. Especially because I know they build it to rubrics. Awesome. You know, there's so much you can do with it.
Well, I know in other states they can pull them directly from their state standards.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering why we can't find some way to pull from the TEKS.
Yeah. And you know what? We can even, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to write this down. And I'm going to even contact some other districts that I have worked with before that I know have had Canvas a little bit longer than us and see if they even have anything set up. Because I'm like, we all use the same TEKS in the end, you know? So if they have something set up already, we could potentially pull from theirs too.
Right, because I'm on the elementary music Canvas team, and we were trying to figure out a way to be able to pull it for all 41 elementary schools, you know, one time, because it doesn't make sense. Plus, we have a lot of resistance.
Yes.
A lot of people that just thought that this was simply for for when we were virtual, and we're trying to hammer it home that no, Canvas is here to stay.
Yeah, it is here to stay. I know. I like my favorite thing I told people at the end of the year when they were like, hey, are we going to use Canvas next year? And I was like, yes, we are. It's going to be great. Like, but I worked with it my first year teaching. So I was so used to already having it. And then I always tell people, I'm like, when I came to Garland and we weren't one-to-one yet, I was like, wait, what? Like, what do I do? What do you do? Because I was so used to having everything online every day. And like, I even would like message absent students every single day. Like I would just make a message and, you know, put all the students who were absent and send them what we did. Like I had this whole thing down, and then I came to Garland and I was like, oh gosh, I have to use paper again. Like, what is this? So I didn't know any better, but that's what I'm like. I think that's why I get so excited about it, because I have asked for years to have Canvas. And even like a couple years ago when I was at Hudson still, I like begged the principals to be like, hey, can I be like a trial teacher? And if we like it better than Google Classroom, can we use it? So I'm like, in a way, I'm like, thank goodness for the pandemic, because it helped so much with this type of thing, you know, but it's like, that's a bad way to look at it, you know?
Well, no, it's an ill wind that blows no good, right? So
Right. So I'm like, I don't know, but I'm with you on that. I will, I wrote it down, so I have it here in front of me, and I'll keep asking, keep trying to figure out what we can do about it, because I'm the same way. I think outcomes would be amazing to have as an option for our teachers.
Well, and it's just so great because they want us to be able to show data to parents. And here we have it built in.
Yeah.
This is an incredible tool.
Yeah.
But we're only using like this much of it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I just thought I'd check with you because
I'll keep asking. I'll keep seeing what I can find out.
I've been bugging Chelsea and Angie and her team.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry. I do that all the time. But I can even talk to a curriculum.
I haven't bugged them.
Figure out what we can do.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.